Hello. So this is my purchase one of two from the Beautylish gift card sale. So there's a couple of brushes in here that I've been waiting not quite a year. I think I wanted them since earlier this year. So I'm really excited to unbox these and give my first impressions. So let's go ahead and unbox these and get into it. All right, so I'm gonna put this to the side, but this is the freebie item that I got from Beautylish. I always like seeing the freebie items and like extra things you get in unboxings. Not a huge fan of mascara though. Or actually, let me continue unboxing this. Okay, so I'll get to the Wayne Goss in a moment, but I just want to say the packaging on this for the I believe this is the garden Japanese gardens set is just exquisite. I do have the I got the set for the sunset cranes as well, and the packaging for it was definitely not as good as this. It didn't have any of this beautiful design work on it. I mean, the brushes were beautiful, but this is very over the top, I feel like, which I enjoy. I'm going to put this to the side but I just wanted to make that note that the packaging for this really, they really went above and beyond for this. I'll be keeping this together. This is really cute, super cute. All right. So I'm doing everything very out of order. But I did mention earlier that there was two brushes that I had been waiting for a while to purchase, and it was actually these Goss ones. I've been waiting to get the, I guess this is the number 4. This is, I believe, called the large fluffy brush or something like that. I think it's actually in the face set, but I would consider it like a large eyeshadow brush. And then I also wanted to get the Laydown brush. For some reason, these really want to stick to the brushes for the Goss ones. I'm not sure why. I think they might be a little bit too small for the brushes. But these two I really wanted because these are kind of the squirrel hair, goat hair, bristle version of a couple of brushes that I've really enjoyed from Goss. And let me get them really fast. All right, so these two that are full goat hair from the Goss, what is it called? The first edition? Is that what he called these? I forget. It's the E4 and the E1. These two have been some of my most used brushes and may be my most used eye brushes since I got them, which is really funny because the E1 in particular, I only got it because I got the full set of the eye brushes and I didn't think that I would like it. I fully expected to get it and to declutter it at some point, but I really love it. I love it for a wash of color on the lids. It's just been one of the best brushes for me, and I really, really enjoy it. My only issue with it is I wish it were a little bit more airy, or maybe that's not the right word. Let me show you the other brush. So this brush is from Sonia G's Sunset Cranes set, and this was another brush that I only got because I had to buy the whole set to get the brushes, and I thought that I wouldn't like it. This is the Arched Worker, and it is my favorite brush for an all over wash of color on the lids. My only issue with this is it's full squirrel hair. It's also a limited edition brush that I will never be able to get again, and I don't really want to ruin it. And it's the Arched Worker brush really taught me how to use the Goss E1. And it's part of the reason that I like the Goss E1 so much. But I wish that the Goss E1 was more like the Sunset Cranes Arched Worker brush. Yes, there's a difference in the bristles and everything, but the ferrule shape makes a really big difference on how this plays on your lids. But basically, I wanted something that was closer to the Arched Worker than the E1 is, which is why I got the Goss 4 from his collector's edition. But really, what I'm trying to get from it is I'm trying to get this. This is what I want. So we'll see how close I get to it. Actually, let's go ahead and like compare these. I just, you just saw me get this out of the box, but let's go ahead and see. Just looking at these, they're definitely a different shape. The Arched Worker has this very pronounced fluffed out shape from the way that it's pressed. And this, I find, really allows the bristle to apply very evenly to the eyelids. I find with brushes like this, if you get something like the Goss E1, if, if it's just has the regular type of ferrule like this, the sides and the center of the brush press down with sort of a different distribution of force. And so you get less of a, you just get less of a even application of product. Now, I don't find that this one has that much of an issue because it's a little bit fluffier. Like you can see how much more fluffy it is than the squirrel hair um, arched worker. So I think that helps this brush a lot, but this brush is just so fantastic. So, and I also do really appreciate that this is squirrel hair. But again, this is limited edition. I have oily skin, so I kind of limit my use of this brush, and that's part of the reason I wanted this number 4 from Wing Goss. Now this feels very silky. Very, very silky. It definitely feels a lot more like squirrel hair than goat hair. Which is funny because I got I have one other brush from this set from Wing Goss's collector's edition. It's a blender brush. Let me get that. And I originally got this blender brush to sort of try out this set from Wing Goss, which is kind of dumb. Like you can't really pass judgment on a full set from one brush. But I was a little bit disappointed with this brush because in usage it feels a lot more like goat hair. So rather than being a squirrel hair gut brush with a touch of goat hair, it's the other way around. It feels like it's mostly goat hair with a little bit of squirrel hair in there. It's a little bit too stiff for what I want. It's a lovely brush, but I really prefer something that's full squirrel hair for this. Such as Wing Goss's original number 3 brush. This has some dust on it. This is like one of the best crease brushes. There's this, and then there's Sonia G's Crease One. Both of those are absolutely fantastic. And I was really hoping that this one would be, just a more durable version of the squirrel hair one, and they are very similar in shape. I find that this one from Wing Goss's new collection hasn't fluffed out nearly as much. I don't know if that's to do with some like a way that I'm handling it, but I hope that it fluffs out more in the future. But anyway. Alright, so I'm going to have to use this some. This does feel like it has, like it's very soft, it's very silky, but it definitely has that feedback, so I'm a little bit worried about it being more stiff than I would like. But it's also very compressed right now, so I also expect this to fluff out. But we'll see. We shall see. But it does feel really nice. Alright, and then the other Wing Goss brush that I got is the number 10. This is the Laydown brush. I literally got this because I love the E4 from Wing Goss's first edition set. It's amazing. I actually don't have any issues with it being too stiff for what I use it for. I really like the look of the number 10. I just think it looks really pretty. And I also wanted another one of the E4 brushes, so to me it makes more sense to have two brushes that perform the same work. They do the same thing, but they look a little bit different, so it's just easier for me to keep track of them rather than to have backups. I'm also interested to see if this just feels a little bit softer because my eyes are just very sensitive, so I'll be looking out for that. Again, these both feel very silky smooth. I'll be interested to see how they fluff out after washing. But so far, those look good. Those look like kind of what I expected them to. So I have high hopes for those. Okay, now coming back to the Sonia G Japanese garden set. These I really didn't plan to purchase, but they look so beautiful. And also, from the Sunset Cranes set, I've really fallen in love with this pencil brush. Here, let me get it. I really love how tiny and specific this pencil brush is. Like, you see how small the tip is and how defined it is. I love that. And actually, now that I'm looking at the Japanese Gardens one, it doesn't look like it comes to quite as much of a tip. But we'll see. That might change once I wash it a little bit, because it looks otherwise like it has the same build. It looks like it should have the same shape. We'll see. But that was, honestly, this brush is probably a pretty big reason why I got this set, is because I wanted another one of these brushes. Now I have the Sonia G, is it called the soft pencil? No, this is a soft pencil. Oh, Pencil S, the one in the walnut handle in her permanent collection. I have that one. I find I don't like it as much as the Sunset Cranes one. Not so much because of the bristle, not because of the goat hair versus squirrel hair, but because the Sunset Cranes one comes to a much sharper point, and I really like that. The Pencil S just, it's more blunt than I thought it was going to be, and it feels more blunt. Like, it's a very beautiful, very soft pencil brush with a decent amount of movement while also being really precise, but I find I don't like it as much. So I'm hoping that I will like this one more from the Japanese Garden set. What else do I have here? Oh, I also was very curious. I don't know how this will actually turn out, if this will turn out well for me or not, but I was really curious about this crease brush because it's very small, very specific, but it's a mix. So all of these are a mix of squirrel hair and goat hair. I believe these are, it's Canadian squirrel hair. I don't really know the difference between different squirrel hairs, but Sonia G's blender brushes are usually not my favorite. They tend to be a little bit too stiff for me. So I was curious if I'll like this one more. So I'll have to come back and give some updates there, but it does feel pretty airy for how small and precise it probably is. So we'll see, but that should work out in my favor. Now the Laydown brush, I think that this was the brush in the Sunset Cream set that I was least excited about, and that I've used the least. So we'll see if this one's any different. I think that the added stiffness from the goat hair will actually work nicely, because I really use this kind of a brush the way that I use this kind of a brush, and I'm just looking for really easy pickup of product, very easy and even lay down of product on my lids, but without the bristles like pressing onto my lids. I don't like that that sensation of pressure on my eyelids. So we'll see how this works out. I think between the two, actually they both feel pretty much the same amount of firmness. And it's funny, this one from Goss actually feels a little bit less firm than these two. But again, like, I've washed this one, I've used this one, so it's hard to compare something that's like right out of the package with things that you've already used. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's it. So this was not all of these, but these two from Goss, and then the the Japanese Gardens brushes set. This is what I got for the Beautylish sale. There will be a second one of these videos. I did get another, I did make another order, and that one will be the Niji Pro from Sonia G, the Buffer Pro that I can compare with my my face one and the face one with the little star on it. I've always wanted to compare all of those, and I also wanted the Buffer Pro for traveling. What else did I get? Oh, and then I got a highlighter. Someone here had recommended Hindesh's La Luna to me, and I've been thinking about that ever since they made that comment, so I decided to pick that up as well. So we'll see how those are in my next video, and maybe by then I will have a little bit more feedback on these brushes as well. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Let me know if you have any questions. I always like talking to you in the comments. And until next time, bye for now.